Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I'm busy. I'm sitting here trying to talk to you guys. I don't want people interrupted. All right. So basically, bottom line is this. There's a lot of wrongdoers out here. And those individuals that are in place in these agencies and entities and things like that, they keep telling you that they're going to intervene and assist, advocate, do whatever. It's not happening. It's not true. All right. So I was telling you about the Southeast Mental Health at 16 West Long Street, Columbus, Ohio 43215. They're now, Wendy Williams is the chief operating officer over there, and Dr. Abu Hassan is the medical director over there. They are actually severely retaliating against a man, and they're participating in what's called patient abandonment, and they are denying him access to health care. He actually is still a current patient there, and they're refusing to give him an appointment, which is usually a requirement in order for him to get medications, or they're refusing to go ahead and ensure that they call in sufficient amount of antipsychotic medication for the patient so that he is not abruptly stopped off of his medication, which can actually cause uncontrollable convulsions that will cause severe injury and or death. So they're doing it deliberately, they're doing it on purpose. And so when he dies, then who do you think is going to be responsible for that, wrong for that? They are individually and the entity and any and everybody that had the awareness. And lots of people have the awareness. So Adam Board of Franklin County, Carly Tennant, she has all the awareness of all the different wrongdoings, and concerns for the poor behaviors and patient treatment and all that type of stuff that Southeast Mental Health continuously and routinely participates in. Carly Tennant, we have all the emails, we have all the receipts for that as well. They have someone there, her name was Margaret Hitty. She's sending out emails, putting the patient's name, full first and last name in the subject line. That's a HIPAA violation, you're not to do that. And then when you click into the body of it, it's actually some of his medical information, even his medications and things like that. You know, she violated that. She was turned in actually to the social work board. Somebody over there like Rachel something, I don't know. Rachel something was supposed to be investigated, but probably never did. Okay, so people have the awareness of these wrongdoings. Okay, so Catherine Godemaller also is the lady that sent in a letter to the Ohio Probate Court during a guardianship hearing. The Ohio Probate Magistrate actually just stated like, yeah, somebody over there at Southeast, Catherine Godemaller sent something in saying like they didn't believe that you should have the guardianship because they didn't think you would force the patient to take their medications. And they said that I don't know, they're a counselor and they get he gets counseling services over there. First and foremost, that just tells you the mindset of Southeast, all right? And Catherine Godemaller, Wendy Williams, Dr. Abu Hassan, their approach is not patient-centric, and they're in the business of revoking people's rights. That tells you a lot about Catherine Godemaller to even write a letter like that, because you do not force mental health disabled people to take meds. You're not allowed to do that. You're revoking their rights by forcing meds, all right? Now, they have a choice. If they don't never want to take meds, oh well. They don't have to, but if they become a threat to themselves or others, that's when you can take immediate action in terms of intervention. Now, at that point, you as an individual or entity still don't have a right to force meds. You have to actually petition a court, like a probate court, and you need to ask, and you have to prove that they're a threat to themselves or others, they're incompetent, they're not doing, what they're supposed to do. We have to force these meds because that's the only way they can be out here in society. And things like that, okay? So Catherine Godemaller is the one who sent that letter into the Ohio Probate Magistrate, and which sparked the interest into why someone's saying that they're a counselor and provide counseling services, in which they actually do not, and they never have, and they've never talked to nor met the patient that they're saying that they gave counseling services to. There's no therapeutic individualized care plans that displace people. It is not. Everything's copy paste. They're not individualizing anything. They're not setting goals with these people. They're making them up, okay? If anything, the patient needs to be outlining what their own patient-centric goals are, and anybody that's doing a plan for them can encourage, put in interventions that will help them meet their goals, and things like that, or they can make suggestions and see if the patient or whoever would like to agree to setting something up to be a potential goal for them to whatever they deem will help them have a better quality of life. But you are not to force anything. You are not to tell somebody what they're going to do and all of that. But that is the mindset still of Southeast mental health. And yeah, as evidence-based practice actually does show, the approach and move toward patient-centric, right? Care is best. It's best practice. It equates to quality. So that I don't know why Dr. Abdul Hassan is a doctor, why he isn't in the loop of what is best practice. He doesn't know anything about evidence-based practice. I don't know. Maybe he's getting a little older and they need to keep an eye on him, because half the time he presents as if maybe there's concern for his level of consciousness. And maybe he might be moving into some stage of dementia. He's had the record open plenty of time on telehealth sessions in which it's not the right patient. All right. He actually stated that he was going to call in 5 milligram or 10 milligram Abilify for this patient who had not been on Abilify in like 7-8 months. And in fact, Abilify was causing the person to have syncope episodes and seizures in which they were busting their head on the floor and things like that, and having a seizure. Where even he had it was concussions, and in one instance he had to have staples in his head. So what are they really doing over there? Okay, so what it is, the reason why they're retaliating and they're mad is that there's an awareness of what they're doing. Okay, there's an awareness out there, and they're upset about that. And what they want to do is continue to do their wrongdoings. And so they got to get rid of anybody that has the insight into what they're doing. It's going to continue to have them on task. And they're going to keep saying that's outside of clinical practice. That's against standards of care. You're not to do that. You're going to end up with a liability on yourself individually and the entity, because you're acting outside of the clinical guidelines and standard of care. And you're doing it on purpose. That's currently going on right now. And the Board of Commissioners in Columbus, Ohio, they have the awareness. As I said, Adam, Board of Franklin County, they have the awareness. Carly Tennant is the primary contact. They all know. Health and Human Services, they have the awareness. They were supposed to investigate the discrimination complaint. The second complaint was also put in 23535-857, and Arthur Salzar landed on his desk, and he will send something playing and acting. And they write things in these things that look good on paper, and they also write falsehoods and lies and stuff like that, to where if anybody was to just look at it at first glance without knowing the details, they would say, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." He sent a letter saying like, OCR doesn't investigate fraud, when he knows all along that second complaint 23535-857 is a subsequent complaint to 235.3-689, given the awareness of the increased level of retaliation and discriminatory practices of Wendy Williams and Dr. Abdul Hassan post the filing of the discrimination 23513-689, and also where the Attorney General, Nidra Davis, was the inspector, had the awareness that Southeast was actually billing Medicare for services not rendered. Nidra Davis, she presented to the home with one of her colleagues, and she had a whole long list of all the charges and stuff. And she named off several practitioners that have never been heard of. And she named off services such as counseling services and case management, in which Southeast Mental Health actually was not providing to the disabled vulnerable population person. That they're billing for services to the insurance provider that have never been rendered. That's actual fraud. The Nidra Davis, she's half-assed. She didn't really do a damn investigation or whatever. But higher governmental folks know now that if they care, that's them spending the money out in Medicare. They said you ain't supposed to bill for services not rendered. That's what they said. And they said you could call and tell them if you suspected Medicare fraud. And it's been told, but it don't look like there's no consequence for nobody, but the patient's getting retaliated against and shit like that. And it looks like they're trying to kill him. Because if he stops that medication, he's going to die. 9 times out of 10. And they're doing that. And everybody knows about it. Nobody really gives a fuck. And they'll steady talking about speak up, speak out, and all this shit. And, it's all lies. Nobody cares about anybody or any fucking thing. It's all lies. It's lies. People just sit back and watch and see what people are suffering and going through hardship and shit like that. And then when all the information is out there, it's about prevention. Now you got an opportunity to prevent the shit from happening. There's no reason why this man should not be able to be a patient at this place. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. He should be able to participate in his telehealth services like he was doing all along. And then they tried to come and revoke that shit. They just keep trying to make him go into spiral down to a very bad place and have a very bad exacerbation and either have been in mental health crisis in a hospital or dead. They're doing that and they're doing it on purpose. Yes, they are, and nobody cares and nobody's doing nothing about it. Carly Tennant just keeps ignoring the emails and stuff like that. But I'm never going to stop. Never going to stop. Never. Never. I said your time is up. This bullshit is going to stop. You're going to stop abusing people and neglecting them, revoking their rights, discriminating against them, abusing them. You know, I don't care. I don't care. Whatever falls under the subcategory, whatever those subcategories are, of abuse and neglect and things like that. But don't let me get word of it. I'm gonna let it be known and I'm gonna tell it. And I'm not done yet. You ain't seen shit yet. There's still a lot of wrongdoers out there that I haven't even exposed. This has been going on for a very long time. I've been behind the scenes on a lot of advocacy. I've made a lot of changes, actually. It's just that I haven't been out here broadcasting or saying anything. It's over now. So if you haven't heard your name yet, and you know that you're a wrongdoer, if I ever had to confront you about something before, please know and understand that your time is coming up. You'll have your chance. And we definitely welcome any rebuttals. Anybody want to come and refute anything? If you have some evidence against anything that's being said here, please, by all means, because we want to be fair. We don't want to be biased. We don't want to be prejudiced. We're impartial. And people in Columbus, Ohio, it appears, has a very difficult time. They have a very difficult time in being that way. Even those very people that you guys out there actually elected into a position like Judge Karen Phipps of Franklin County Court of Common Pleas. There's a case 22CV3. No, yeah, 3620. It did exist, but she's another one. Now she participated in it's an actual crime. She's still a suspect. She's on the list. Deprivation of rights is a crime under color law. Yes, it is. And she participated in it. She did it willfully, intentionally, and deliberately. She revoked the right of the plaintiff in that particular case. That case is a severe landlord-tenant retaliatory case. And what she's trying to do is cover up everything that's involved, which is fraud. There's a lot of illegal and unethical actions and ongoings and things like that, like attorneys. There's a bad apple attorney, Michael Casone, okay? And then there's somebody in Alex Castle that just came on with this particular case at Court of Common Pleas that had no information or firsthand knowledge and was not privy to anything at the lower court of Franklin County Municipal Court. But he had the nerve, audacity, and gall to write something in the Common Pleas Court case 22CP3620, stating that he thought the Franklin County Municipal Court had erred. They put an error journal entry in when they actually dismissed the lower tier court case 21CV020711. Judge James Green, he dismissed that particular case without prejudice. And he told the tenants at the new hearing, it had to be reopened, that case 21CB020711. He told the tenants in front of Michael Casone and Rob Ravaka Ball County in the portfolio. He was like, well, just go ahead and refile over Common Pleas. They heard it, they were there. Michael Casone was there, and so was Rob Ravaka Ball County Neal. Alex Castle was not there. Judge Green was there. Judge Green was on the witness disclosure list of the plaintiff in 22CB3620 as well. Lots of cover up there, right? So Karen Phipps and Michael Casone, they went to Capital University Law School together. They're in the same tenure. But they want to play and act like they don't know each other and all this shit. Ain't no professional or personal relationship, or there's no bias. Well, the judge, you got bias again with, as far as he was concerned. But what they tried to do is fake and play and make sure they put another lawyer from his law firm on the case, Alex Castle. So it would look like to you and the public, there was no conflict of interest, no issue like that with Judge Phipps known or went to the same school and around the same time, with Michael Casone, shit like that, because they already know that was an issue because Karen Phipps had already been turned in to a health disciplinary council, right? And they don't give a fuck about none of that, and that bias was already being seen and prejudice and all of that in her actions. And she was actually asked to recuse, and she refused because why? She had an agenda. She wanted to make sure that there would never be any type of case law or any type of court record with an opinion in favor of tenants who actually did exercise their right to complain to a governmental agency about condition loans, right? and not face landlord retaliation, but then the landlord is not the same as a slumlord, it's really slumlord. Slumlord retaliated, but then the tenant in this particular case, was successful at winning because it was a hands down win case. The plaintiff had all the evidence. Absolutely. And they know that. That's why they covered it up. Try to bullshit and stuff like that. Deprivation of rights under federal law. So what she did, she actually revoked the liberty, the constitutional civil right of the plaintiff to actually litigate a matter in a court. You can litigate a matter in a court, but what she did, she spun the truth. All right, just to the point of what she wanted you to know only. All right, and she took an agreement and she stated, and she illustrated in her ruling that because that particular agreement between the tenant and the property management and the owner of the property had been made, that the case had already been litigated. But she knew that the truth of the matter was that agreement was actually signed under duress, and her buddy Pow who's from Capital University Law School, Michael Kasson, he actually placed the tenants under duress to sign that particular agreement, and she knew that. So, but she just only told half truth. She only told up to a certain part. All right. To find a summary judgment for them, which is a very, very harsh judgment. And she knows not only was she a lawyer at one time, but then she's a judge. So she knows finding in summary judgment of someone is very harsh. You have to be very cautious so that you are not accused of deprivation of rights under law. So she knew exactly what she was doing. She did it on purpose. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So she also took the risk. She took the risk, knowing the consequences, right? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So what really happened was, Franklin County Municipal Court was made aware of what had actually occurred. That Michael Kasson, he actually sent the tenants in 21CB020 711 a letter threatening to have them immediately set out if they did not retract a true and accurate report of fraud that his client, Krishna Kualatada, was actually participating in by submitting false claims with false incident beginning dates to his insurance company, Amazon and Liberty Mutual, right? But that's a scam that he does. His name's Krishna Kualatada. He's a little Indian man. He lives out in Las Vegas. He hasn't been up there for any court hearing or anything like that. He had already had pre-existing code violations and issues reported with 311.gov through the service request and through email and through the telephone, even back when COVID was going on. Like the first one may have been around June of 2020 when COVID, home inspections was prohibited, but they were making phone calls over the phone. And Krishna Kualatada was actually supposed to relocate the tenants, who are actually the plaintiff in 22CB3620 when parents revoked their right to litigate, deprivation of rights. They what he did was he lied and he told his insurance company that the leaks and the mold and all that caused the psychological floor. He lied and said that started in August. He said it happened August 7th. He put it in text. He sent the tenants a letter. And he's like, just don't tell them that it's been continued. He said, well, no, for a long time, or they won't cover it. He knew about all the pre-existing conditions in that place. There's over 29 public records with 311.gov, the city of Columbus. Yeah. The mayor knows about it. Tierra Ross, attorney Tierra Ross knows about it. She had a whole retaliation case. I think I talked about this before. She had a whole retaliation case. Okay. It is the city of Columbus, the code inspector, like it was Kay Conrad code inspector. When she came out to inspect and she took the pictures and all this type of stuff when COVID prohibition was lifted, she took all the pictures and everything. It was her that that's the city that gives you the paper for the retaliatory action. You fill it out, they come back and they pick it up and they give it to the appropriate people. So the code inspector gave it to Todd Dillard. Todd Dillard gave it to Tierra Ross. Tierra Ross said the text, we got it, everything. And she said, hey, I got it. I'll let you know by Friday when I go over there to pick it up or something like that. She said, hey, I got it, and I'll let you know. She never would do any updates. Tenants kept reaching out. She never would do any updates or nothing like that. Then once a complaint was put in on the record, because when you file things, you put your service request in on the city 311.gov, it's really public record. So they know that they have to respond in some type of way. They have to make it look like they're really caring, that they're going to do something for you. They know they're not going to do shit. They're not going to bring no case. Or if they file a case in a court because it missed the deadline of when the things are supposed to be fixed, it's not their true intent to really enforce anything. It's just to make it all look good on paper so the public thinks that they're really doing something. Yeah, they do it all the time. They're not going to enforce anything. They know that the landlord or whoever is going to severely retaliate against the tenant, or the tenant is going to get sick of the shits and go ahead and move, and there's going to be no reason for them to enforce any type of real penalty or fine, especially not monetary. That's true. That's what happens. Yep. So Tierra Walsh, she had a retaliatory case, but after she was told that she's not responding, then finally she sent something stating that, oh, well, the ordinance, the ordinance that she's talking about is what protects tenants from landlord retaliation if you exercise your right to file with the government agency about the unsafe and inhabitable condition of dwellings. You're not to be retaliated against, right? But that ordinance, actually, she said, was in the court, environmental court, and it was being challenged. But as soon as the court gives the green light, then she'll let you know about the retaliation case that she has. She never let anybody know about shit. Okay. But who did, who also was on all those email threads all along, all he knows, all everything, and he had all the evidence before any court case, is Michael Casella. He's been on the damn threads all along. These are very bad, mean, evil people that allow this type of shit to happen to somebody. And actually, the plaintiff in 22CP3620 had paid all the rent, the entire contract, even before All County Neo even came on board in September of 2020. See, Krishna Qualitada was already a piece of shit. He was a con artist. He already had been turned into the city code and all that before he even got with them. Right? It was rolling flames on top of the water heater and all that type of stuff. He almost blew the whole family up. Columbia Gas had to come out and shut the water heater off and all that type of stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot. And all they do is lie and cover up. They really don't want to fix anything. They really don't want to take accountability at all, responsibility and accountability for anything like that. And then so the only recourse for that is for a plaintiff or somebody who's been severely harmed is to file a court case, a legal claim, so they can try to find some type of remedy, right? Well, Parent Phipps said, hell no, you're not going to find no type of remedy. You're going to fuck what happened to you. So I'm going to revoke your whole human right, your civil right, your liberty, and your constitutional right, because I'm wearing this black robe and I'm an attorney. I was an attorney first, and now I'm a judge, and I have that right. I got immunity. I do whatever I want to do. And I dare you sit up here, come out here and try to tell something that my friend did, that he coerced and threatened you and things like that. And that he knows about this fraud that his very own client was participating in. He told you to go and retract that report of fraud, or he was going to file the necessary paperwork for Franklin County Municipal Court to have you and your family with an autistic child set out on the street. You're not going to sit up here and tell the public that. I'm not going to allow it. No, I know exactly what happened in the Franklin County Municipal Court. I know they knew about the code violations. I know they knew about all the public records that's on file about that unsafe inhabitable place. I know they knew about the fraud. I know the city zone prosecutor, assistant prosecutor, and attorney at the time, Tierra Ross, had a retaliation case on hold, but then the whole ordinance was found unconstitutional. I know she went back and told the Ohio Supreme Court disciplinary board that she's currently working on a new one with the city council. I know all of this. I know everything. I know you put a motion to vacate that judgment that came to when you guys agreed in that agreement that Michael Persone put you under duress in 21 CV02-711. I know that you told the court that. I know that you wrote in your motion to vacate judgment when you added that memorandum in support. You detailed every single thing. You said, hey, listen, there's a retaliation going on. It's severe. There's code violations going on. There's actually a case also at the same time in the Franklin County Municipal Court right now that the city brought against Carissa Qualitada and All County Neo. Also, it's EVH 060439 Franklin County Municipal Court. You know, there's a lot going on. It's very complex. And this man actually threatened to come down and have people set out if they told that, told his insurance of the fraud. He told him to go and retract a true report of fraud so that the insurance company could be like, what? You can't go and retract that anyway. It's true. You can look at it and tell them it's fucking true. All right. The insurance company has an incident report that he put in saying, hey, this shit started on August the 7th. They have it there. He really did put that in. And then the damn plaintiff here in 22CB3620 already has the text messages. She sent them over to Michael Persone. Yes, she did. Then he wanted to act like he never sent it. Then he never responded. So then, because at that time he knows like, oh shit, I done fucked up. I didn't know she had that. hopefully she never says anything, and hopefully this never comes out. I don't want everybody to know that I'm a bad apple attorney, and I just threatened this family who had paid all the rent even before my buddy pal friend Rob Ravak of All County Neo came on board. Yeah, that's my buddy pal, because I'm Michael Casson. I had went on their webpage and I put like a 5-star review, and I was telling everybody, I was like, hey, Rob Ravak, Rob runs a tight ship. But I think I made a mistake now. I was kind of like, I should have said, Rob runs a piece of tight shit. That's what I should have said. Yeah. But I said, hey, to all you owners, take it from an owner. All County Neo. Rob runs a tight ship. That's his personal property management. That's where it's written up. That's where it looks. But we still have that too, just in case. Michael Casson tried to call Google and have them take it down or something like that, because somebody already got into our email messages, our DMs over there at Twitter. Nick did 444 NIKBIK 444. Yeah, they told us. They say, yeah, I'm former motherfucker from TNR Properties, and anytime you see Michael Casson name or something, that means there's something underhanded, there's some unsafe, inhabitable conditions going on, and tenants being wrong and stuff like that. And so whenever tenants try to go and tell and get on social media, he sends letters and things like that to them and have them take it down. Even if you get on WordPress or something like that and try to tell, or some free type of site, he'll send that to them too and have them take it down, because he don't want to get known. I'm back. Yeah, I had to get my pizza. Well, somebody's pizza anyhow. Thank you for holding on. I forgot to put the intermission music over. I don't know how to do that on here, but yeah. Mhm. Lots of wrongdoing, boo-boo. It's all true. Everything. It's all facts. It's all facts. It's this. But what is universal is anytime you really try to give constructive criticism to people about their behaviors and their actions that are poor, that do not ever equate to quality, they're out of what? They're out of what society deems to be legal and ethical. Yes, they are. But they're telling you on paper and all that, and when they're skinning and grinning in your face that, oh, we're doing this and we're doing that, and isn't that great? But it's not true. Not in every case. That I'm finding this out though, so don't believe everything that you see, right? Just know lots of wrongdoings going on, and lots of entities in place to intervene and ensure that it cease and desist. They're not doing it, and people are being harmed and severely harmed. Even like with Karen Phipps and 22CB3620. Do you know that the plaintiffs who had paid all their rent, do you know that Judge James Green at Franklin County Municipal Court, do you know that he looked Michael Casson? You know Michael Casson? I think he thinks he's fonts. I think he thinks he's sponsors. You know, he be traipsing in the courthouse with them tight ass suit pants on, but crunching his phone, long ass roach killing joker shoes, fake snake skins. He done took his damn comb out his jean jacket. put some Vaseline on his, slicked it back, sitting out, think, look at those little papers, go in and lie to the courts. He looked Judge James Green right in the eye when Judge Green asked, do you all have a case against the tenants? Slick back, grease head, Hassan. Tight suit pant, booty crunching the thong. Long, roach killer, joker shoe, fake snake skin. Sat up here and looked the judge in his face and said, okay. And at that time, Judge Green told the tenants, you can go ahead and file your case, refile your case over in common pleas. Why do you think Judge Green would tell them to refile their case over in common pleas? Because the prayer amount, the remedy that the tenants were looking for exceeded the jurisdictional limits, all right, the cap of the Franklin County Municipal Court. Because Judge James Green did ask that, okay, because he was addressing the counterclaim, all right? But what was told was, well, that we don't want it heard here in this particular jurisdiction because we're asking for more based on the severity, right? The remedy needs to be more. So we need it to be, it's a minimum of 25,000, right? He was like, well, refile your case over common pleas. Then you know what he did? He dismissed the entire case without prejudice. So what Karen Phipps did, what she did in the 22 CB 3620 is she did it on purpose. She took that agreement that she knew and understood had actually been signed under duress. Okay, her friend, buddy, pow, Michael Casson, put the tenants under duress. He said, hey, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna file to get you set out and all this type of shit, and you know, trying to force him to sign stuff, right? She knew this. So, and she also knew that the Franklin County Municipal Court, after they had the awareness of the totality of the circumstances and everything that was actually involved, she knew that they went on and reopened that case, right? So you really had to put like a declaration on file and everything of outlining all the facts involved, okay? Because you had to tell the court that, you know, you was under duress to sign. You want that vacated, okay? And so basically that judgment was vacated because a new judgment was entered. Post what Karen Phipps even showed you on her ruling in 22 CB 3620. Now, Alex Counsel, he had the audacity and gall and the motherfucking nerve to sit up here and say that it was like a journal entry to him. He couldn't understand or see how, you know, I guess that they could have found dismissed without prejudice, that he thought that they erred. Okay. Who the fuck he think he is? He cannot speak for Judge James Green. Okay, so I don't know if he knew the totality of the circumstances or if Michael Casson just put something on him without really telling him everything that was involved. All right, but that's neither here nor there. That was up for him to research. I'm sure he looked at the case. I'm sure he went and he looked at the lower tier court case in Franklin County Municipal Court, and he knows that it was dismissed without prejudice. That's not his call to determine whether or not it was a journal entry error, especially when it could be litigated in the court. And the person who actually did rule on that particular case, dismissed without prejudice, they could speak to what they did, why they did it, and everything like that. They could speak to it themselves. Who the fuck do you think you are, Alex Castle? Okay. These are the wrongdoers that are in Columbus, Ohio. These are attorneys. These are bad apples. And Alex Castle and Michael Casson and Karen Phipps have all been turned into the Ohio Supreme Court Disciplinary Board. Okay. All right. Castle and what's her name? Phipps, probably twice. Casson, this is like his third go round. All right. Right, because the Ohio Department of Ohio Disciplinary Council keeps saying if the cases are open, we don't investigate and all this. And you know, this shit with Michael Casson don't have shit to do with the case per se. This is his ethical and professional conduct. All right, this is what they allow people. They absolutely know all these wrongdoings of these people that I've named here: Michael Casson, Karen Phipps, Alex Castle, Wendy Williams, Dr. Abu Hassan, Richard DiAgio, Alex WRONGDOER, Aetna Resources LLC, CBS Health, Okay, there's another attorney with that CVS Health and Aetna Resources, Karen Gaster. She was the one who signed off on the damn agreement through the EEOC. All right, okay, they know exactly. All right, EEOC. They also know about their very own mediator who revised the whole shit. Okay, they know exactly what they're doing. Where's the $15,028? Who's going to hold them accountable? Okay, what's the sanctions involved in this? What's the punitive damages? Why aren't these people in jail? You don't sit up here and you don't steal $15,028 from somebody. And then when it's found out what really went on, what's behind it, all the lies that you're telling, okay, that's severe harm. Where is the money? That's not your money. It's not your property. Then you set up here and you lie. Richard Diageo, Alex Frondor, and 227B7866 Franklin County Common Pleas Court by submitting a bogus fake interpleader as if, you know, you're utilizing it like how the real legal process goes. Like you can use an interpleader. It's not even supposed to be how they made it. They made a mockery of the court. They're playing around in the court and they need to be sanctioned. As a matter of fact, there is a motion on the record currently by Spitz Law Firm that is requesting sanctions for them already. And Chris Brown hasn't spoken to that yet. What the fuck? Where's Chris Brown? It's actually called lazy judge. But it's just like, who do you hold accountable? Who's really responsible for whatever's going on with the court and its delay and in answering these motions and pleadings and stuff like that when the case shouldn't exist anyways, okay? Alex Frondorf and Richard Diageo, Littner, Middleton PC, Aetna Resources LLC, and CVS Health filed this case knowing that it's bullshit, not telling the whole truth, okay? Running up court costs, playing in the court, all right? So who's really at fault? Does it really fall on Judge Chris Brown or Judge Holbrook? Does it really fall on them to do anything in a rapid manner when you guys are the ones that filed this, knowing it's bogus and you're taking away from the court's time to address real issues in civil matters, criminal matters, or whatever else is going on here, because you got this bullshit here when you know good and damn well who the property owner is. You should have paid it in accordance to the agreement. You know, Richard Diageo, you was over there playing both sides of the fence over there with the name defendant B in 22CB 7866, Fitz Law Firm, telling him you got a check for them, and you dropped the ball. You didn't go back. You neglected to go back and tell them, oops, sorry, side prank. I'm Ashton Kutcher, you April Fools. Girl, Trisha, I was only joking. Guess what? I don't have a check for you. What I did was I actually voided out that whole contract. Oh my God. I know you don't care. I know you don't care. But yeah, I had actually voided that out. That really doesn't even exist at all. But what he did do, he didn't tell her that he voided it out. When he told her that that was repudiated by the EEOC charging party. No, he voided it, motherfucker. He voided it. He redlined out all of the specific language that paid $15,000,000 or $15,028 or monopoly money or food stamp or plastic change over there at Walgreens on a toy out that you get for your kids. He took it out of there and he did it on purpose. Then he gave the draft over to the damn EEOC charging party, Ohio RN, and said, listen, take a look at it, proofread it, approve it, let me know before I finalize it, okay? But then him and Alex Frondor run down there and file some shit in the court as an interpleader, playing innocent, playing like we're only merely trying to just, give the money, where it needs to be. We don't know anything else. They're liars, okay? They actually tried to present to the court as if we're just a mere insurance company, because that's where you normally see interpleaders file with the insurance company where there's a life insurance policy or some type of policy, all right? Where the insurance company itself truly doesn't have any interest or ownership in the funds, all right? They just have the money, but they don't know who the right beneficiary is, or if the beneficiary actually has someone that has a lien on it that they have to pay out. They really don't know. And they're just like, hey, we don't want to get in no trouble with that side, this side, nothing like that. Can we put this money in the court registry and let y'all hash it out in court? Will you just let us off the hook and just say we met our obligation, please? We would really appreciate it. That's what happens in the real world, in the real interpleader. Now, I'm not no fucking attorney. They the motherfuckers with the expertise and the knowledge. They didn't know that? They didn't know that? I'm gonna need an honorary motherfucking law degree then. They didn't know. They didn't know. I'm gonna need somebody to just go ahead and say, I ain't got to take the LSAT then, put me in a law school then. Huh? Do I got a waiver on the fucking LSAT? Can I get into law school somewhere? Because I'm sick of the shits. I'm sick of the shits. Okay. That's the games they play. Mhm. That's the games they play. But they try to make it seem to the court like we just insurance. No, what it is, that you are the alleged wrongdoer at the Resources LLC, CBS Health Company. You're not just a mere insurance company that doesn't have ownership in the money. You have ownership in the money because it's yours. It came out of your revenue. You are the business owner that now owes it to somebody who posts a complaint with alleged you as wrongdoing. I don't think it's beeping yet. It did. Oh, it did? Oh. Take time for the intermission.